Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Duel Review, it's Birdy The Mighty Decode. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it.
Welcome to Thursday the 16th of August. We are doing Birdy, the anime.
That's right, yeah. That's what we just say, Birdy. It's Birdy the Mighty, Decode. But it's based off a manga. The anime is just 2 seasons, 25 episodes. There's 13 in one, 12 in the other. 2008, 2009, so it's fairly recent. It's on Netflix now if you want to check it out. That's where I saw it. And so Birdy it's kind of a space cop kind of thing. Birdy is part of the Federation or whatever. There's a lot of names that unfortunately I'm not going to really remember, and they're hard to pronounce anyway. So she is a space cop. She is an Alton, which is a humanoid. You know, she's on whatever. A lot of planets have gotten together. We've got aliens, working and living together, and she is one of the ones that looks just like a human, basically. But she's also a super soldier, so she's another version of that Alton, and I forget the name of it, but she's a super soldier. Right. She's extra strong. Working with the police, Federation, she has special armor and whatnot, which that's my biggest problem, I think, with just like the aesthetics of it, is she's running around a lot like Witchblade, where she's like mostly naked. Right. And she has like a collar, so I guess it could be a flesh-colored suit, but it's just kind of gratuitous and stupid and needless. Anyway, whatever. She is wearing a suit that repels bullets and, really gives her tough skin. And she can jump around, and you kind of have a problem with the whole... She has sparkles that,
Yeah, she can, like...
Sparks that come out of her heels when she jumps.
Yeah, well, it's like skating, too, where she, like, kind of is repelled by the sparks in her heels. And
she's just a super soldier, so...
I mean, it does look cool. It's just kind of silly. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know... Gem.
Yeah, it kind of, yeah. I mean, she's kind of a, really pretty and whatever. In fact, she doubles on Earth. Okay, so she's on Earth to hunt down some fugitives that are running from the Federation. Right. Either committed atrocities, actually mostly terrorist attack, having to do with the Ryoka, which we'll get to. Anyway, when she's on Earth, her daytime job is she doubles as Shion Arda, which is like this really famous model in Japan. And so... she has all these gigs to kind of pay her way. She lives with the landlady who is also an alien who is kind of helping her have a face on Earth. And she's tracking down, a baddie, and early on she inadvertently kills a kid named
Sutomu.
And she obliterates his body by accident. He basically... the enemy creates a cloud.
Smoke screen.
Yeah, and so she goes in to fight him, and she can't see that he's in the way. So kills him, but of course he wakes up. And this is actually, I thought was brilliant. And it was before the rest of the story but I thought it was brilliant that this kid wears glasses, right? And so he wakes up after this weird occurrence. He's been killed, but he doesn't quite remember what happened. When he wakes up, he puts on his glasses and he can't see. And it's like, what the hell is going on? So he takes them off, and I was like, oh, that's so brilliant, because they restored his body, but they did it in such a way that it's perfect rather than knowing all the flaws that make you human. There's no tick in my knee anymore, and I can see how my, whatever. I thought that was brilliant. But come to find out, it's actually he's in her body. Right. So they have both personalities, spirits in the body, and eventually they will be able to restore his body on the spaceship, whatever, and put him back in it. But until then, until the body's ready, fully mended, they have to be together. But there's this danger of, if they're together too long, then they might merge, and their personalities might merge or whatever.
Right, and I think
their thoughts and all that. And that does come a big part in season 2. But
didn't it say something like she would allow his thoughts to take over because...
More or less, yeah. She would basically be the one that dies, in a sense. He would take over her body.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, which is interesting. Anyway, so she's like a grown woman. She does really enjoy some of the simple things of Earth, like food and baths and stuff, which apparently they don't have the same in space. Anyway, and he is the typical stereotypical high school kid who's got crushes and a little awkward or whatever. So they have to deal with, they can switch bodies. She can turn into his body and he can operate in school, and then turn back into her body when somebody comes up.
So she's a shapeshifter, but I don't understand like
more or less.
See, that's one of the things that I didn't understand was she can shapeshift, but she can only shapeshift into these two people, her secret identity and him.
It's not really explained, but no, she turns into Shion Arda too, which is basically the same but different hair color and all that stuff.
Well, that's what I meant. Her secret identity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not really explained. Maybe it is in the anime. Or the manga. I haven't read the manga at all, so excuse me if I'm missing things. As far as the anime, one thing that I really like about it is the action sequences. They're very loose with the animation and with the drawing, and so it creates this kind of strange, dynamic nature to the fight scenes. So I do enjoy those. It reminds me of Animatrix, a couple of the episodes where the arms and the shoulders just kind of become squares while they're turning, and their legs kind of bend in weird ways, and but it's very fluid and it's kind of fun to watch. Very gritty too, because they do a lot of sketch lines and whatnot. So I have fun with the fighting sequence, and she's tough as nails. She fights hand to hand basically, but a lot of her enemies have weapons and projectiles and stuff, so she has to battle that. I like her attitude. I like the voice acting. I like that part of it. I just really don't like the way she looks. I mean, her hair's okay. Anyway, as the story progresses, you do see her as a child. That's mostly in the second season. You see her as a kid and how she was trained. And basically, you learn that because she is the super soldier, from birth, she was trained to be a police officer. She had no childhood, really. So that's interesting. Right off the bat, when she's a child, she has to fight insurmountable odds. She has to go up against real baddies, even just in her training. And there are terrorist attacks. There's Ryuka that she uncovers are on Earth. This is again, I guess, in season 1.
Right, and Ryuka's the planet-destroying device.
Yeah, basically, it had been used as a terrorist act to basically obliterate a city on another planet, and so they're worried about that happening again. She kind of has flashbacks of. She's given information is what it is, and so she sees what happened, and so she shares that with Tsutomu, and so to get him on her side, because he's kind of complaining like, well, I gotta go to class and all that stuff, and so she has to show him the gravity of the situation. Yeah, a little bit, but not too bad. He has a girlfriend that he's kind of getting a relationship going, and then all of a sudden, the Ryuka takes over her, and so we get that kind of catalyst. And there's kind of this a little bit of infighting between Birdy and Tsutomu, what to do.
And I like the dynamic of she feels so overwhelmingly guilty for having killed him that she's willing to kind of just kind of do things for him because of that. So
good point. Yeah, her attitude is very. She wouldn't normally mess with this sort of thing, but she does feel very guilty. So she helps assist as much as possible. We do get. She's called back to her, planet to, talk things over. So we do see her in that element, but she comes back to Earth. And I guess long story short, the Ryuka ends up taking over the girl, but Tsutomu finally gets his body back. But no sooner does he get his body back, really, than he decides to sacrifice himself to the Ryuka to save his would-be girlfriend. And then it basically happens all over again. Birdy saves him and takes his personality into herself, and so now they have to mend the body again, but this time it's like really destroyed, and so whatever. So that they kind of reboot for the second season, and then they introduce a group of baddies that allowed the Ryuka to happen. Basically, it's government, actually. Some of the government allowed it to happen because they wanted to see the strength of it, see if they could use it, blah blah blah.
Right.
And so now she's hunting them down. But there's also someone else who's hunting them down, someone who's suffered a loss of a friend because of what the Ryuka did on Earth. He is hunting them down now, and so the bad guys start dying, and they think that Birdy's doing it, but Birdy's not doing it. She wants to arrest. She's very much like Batman or Superman or something who wouldn't kill. It just wants to arrest them, although she probably would kill if she had to. But it's this other person that's taking them out, and so it turns out that Birdy and he know each other from childhood and yada yada yada. So I think it does get interesting. You didn't stick in there, and I can understand. It is a little generic.
Yeah, I started watching and I really liked the art. I liked the fight scenes, but the story just wasn't there for me. As soon as I don't know. I mean,
I think if you had given it more of a chance, I think it would have started getting.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where, like, okay, see, this is why we review things on this show, is because, you know, we'll sit there and we'll be forced to watch it, and thankfully he got the steam to watch all of it, whereas I just kind of failed out because I didn't really dig it. But if you're saying that it's good once it get past a certain part, then yeah, maybe
I had a hard time watching it just basically based on her outfit.
Right. Okay.
Because I don't like Witchblade. I don't like how she, you know, like has a little bit over her nipples, and then she's basically nude running around, you know, with a little bit of leg coverings or whatever. And it's kind of similar where she always has, even as when they flash back to her as a little child, she has like no back to her outfit. Like you can completely, and she's like wearing like a thong almost bikini like bottom.
Okay.
So you're seeing like her butt cheeks and stuff when she's like 6 or whatever it is. So that's a little unnerving and whatever. I don't understand why they did that. And some of the other, mostly the women are really scantily clothed, and then of course all the men are, you know, completely up to their neck covered, like Green Lantern versus Wonder Woman, you know, kind of thing. So that's a little weird, but whatever. Getting past that, I just pretended it was a flesh-colored suit, honestly. There's some fun character stuff, and I guess the reason that I really want to review all these things is because they're on Netflix, and they're available for you to watch right now. So I'll be flipping through anime and Netflix and wonder if that's good or bad or whatever. So we're trying to give you a little bit of insight to see if you want to perhaps take it on. I wouldn't. It's not even. It doesn't touch, you know, like Elfen Lied and Corpse Princess and, you know, Basilisk. It doesn't touch those, but it is kind of a fun romp, and I think that the story gets better. I think season 2 is probably better, but you can still need season 1 to care about the relationship between Tsutomu and Birdy. So anyway, and I do like the name Birdy Sifon Altira. I think that's a cool name.
It's a very long name.
I don't know. I like the Sifon part, I guess.
Sifon.
Anyway, so
fun.
Again, to bring in another
so yeah,
Chrome Shield right here.
The art was great. I do like that. Fight scenes, as you said, were pretty epic.
Did you like them? Okay.
Yeah, I did like them. The only thing that really bothered me was the story. I just couldn't get into it, and the floating squid guy. I didn't really care.
Oh yeah, Tuto. I actually really liked him. He plays Birdie's kind of co-manager or whatever. It's a whatever, but he's like this gay guy, and he's a floating squid in real life, but he can transform into this
he
guy.
Can grow a body
and he's like cooking for. I thought he was like a really good comic element. I actually thought, because he made Tsutomu kind of uncomfortable, because he kind of was coming on to him and like giving him food and stuff, and they're all like, "Oh, so you're gay? Oh, that's no problem. We love you anyway," you know, kind of thing. It was just kind of fun to be like, "No," you know, kind of awkward little bit. And he had a really great character, and he's really friendly, and you know, that's a great character. In fact, when he dies, it is a little emotional. We haven't spent a lot of time with him, so it's not that emotional, but he gets repurposed into a cell phone, and so there's a little bit of him in there. So Birdie refuses to have another helper because Tuto's still meant around so much to him. And so, yeah, in order to keep him close, they turn him into a cell phone. But he really has no personality, but he said, you know, is useful to her and whatever, so he kind of lives on through that. But so, all in all, again, if you're looking for another anime and you like the whole, you know, space cop on Earth thing...
Oh, yeah, that's another problem that I had was
and you might really like it.
She's a supermodel alien space cop.
But also, the supermodel part is another real good piece of comic, you know, because she has to play this stupid kind of model thing. Oh, yeah. And she's also, like, pretending she's, like, a space cop. Like,
Stuff like that. As a model, she dresses up as a space cop, with a little fishbowl helmet.
And whenever she goes out in public, people recognize her and go crazy. So she can't really show up in her human form without being, you know, noticed. So, I mean, that just kind of adds a little bit of element. And there's kind of a generic, like, older reporter guy that has, like, a space, whatever, like, alien conspiracy. And so he's kind of behind her, but he ends up, you know, kind of helping and whatever. So that's kind of throwaway. I don't know why they added that. I wish they would have maybe just fleshed out some of the other characters more. But there is a lot going on. I mean, there's also when the Ryonka is a Ryonka with an N, when it does its little bit of damage, it basically obliterates a small part of the city, and so now they're just big ruins. We've got a refugee camp, and there is another kind of like a longtime friend of Tsutoma, the little boy, a longtime friend of him. She wants to be a reporter, so she kind of makes a story about this, and she tries to get people involved, and that's interesting. She's a good character. You kind of want them to get together, kind of thing. So there is some fun to be had there, but I can see why you wouldn't you know, it would just kind of let's move on to something else if it's just not your thing. But if it sounds interesting to you, I don't think you'll be disappointed. So check it out. Again. Right. If you haven't seen Corpse Princess or any of the other stuff, and you're, you know, watch those first. I mean, those are definitely worth your time, 100%. This one, you know, again,
is pretty good. Yeah,
it's solid. I guess it's not like it's better than Ergo Proxy, because Ergo Proxy, I think, polarizes people. Like I really enjoyed it, but it's not very anime-y. It's more like a long, stretched out drama kind of thing. So if you're expecting fast pace, octane. Yeah, exactly, then you'll be disappointed. This is not like that. And then like Shigori Frenzy, Death Frenzy.
Yeah, Shigori Death Frenzy.
That one definitely polarizes people. A lot of people are really happy that we reviewed it because, you know, they really like that, but like you still don't like it. It is very odd, and it's hard to get the rhythm. Yeah. It's slow, and you know, so this one is definitely solid. If you want to give it a chance, then you'll probably be entertained, but you might not finish it, I guess, like him. So that's it on Birdy the Mighty Decode. This Birdy.
Right, Birdy.
All right, guys. Subscribe on YouTube and check out our Duel review channel. All our fun playlists. Game Lab is a lot of fun. Also, follow over. Check them out.
Right, and please leave comments. We love comments. And you can support our new Seattle location found in the U District by buying our wares at spiderwolf.com.
That's right, and it's never too late to get me a birthday present. I would consider that a great birthday present. All right, guys. See you later. Yes! Oh, I got a dud.
No. I did too, I think.
Next up, the movie The Assassination of Jesse James. Bye! That was kind of like Kermit the Frog meets Miss Piggy.
Huh? Bye! So the director would be Kazuki Akane, and the writer is Hiroshi Unagi.
Both worked on a lot of the Gundam stuff. Mobile Suit Gundam.
One of them did the thingies for...
Oh, a lot of storyboards. The director actually did a whole bunch of storyboards for awesome stuff, like...
Have I ever heard of D? Did you do the storyboard?
I believe so.
Right.
And Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
And Samurai Champloo, maybe.
Samurai Champloo, maybe.
Why not?
Let's throw that in there.